Well, hello, I'm Vimala, the director of the International Institute of Handwriting Studies, and today I'd like to speak with you about the opportunities you can create by implementing the Vimala alphabet into your life. For over 30 years, I have been teaching the Vimala alphabet, life-changing technology to educators, parents, artists, yoga instructors, attorneys, psychiatrists, engineers, financial planners, architects, film producers, therapists, persons of cloth, computer scientists, landscape gardeners, and on and on and on. Through the years, hundreds of my clients have attested again and again, I feel alive for the first time in these years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or, whoever would have thought that my pen would give me a new life? I started my alphabetical journey at a very young age. And once I was in school, I even collected handwriting samples from the wastebaskets in the classrooms. Although I didn't know about the meaning of the letters, I knew they were special in some way. Although as I was growing up, I was made fun of when I spoke of the letters as special, as a teenager, my curiosity grew. And as I entered college, it began to assume a deeper dimension, especially when I studied psychology and realized that the hand and the brain were aligned with one another. I continued my research after getting married and having children, but it wasn't until after losing my 16-year-old son in a car accident and 6 months later my 28-year-old daughter to a suicide that my life changed forever. Pain can be an extreme motivator. At this point, I was so angry with God about my losses that I didn't care what people would think about my findings. I was determined to write a book about what I had learned about the relationship of a person's handwriting to their self-image. When you change one, you automatically change the other, was my battle cry, as it were. Shortly after I moved to the Bay Area, I made a phone call to Celestial Arts Publishers, and they accepted my invitation to read a draft of my first book, Change Your Handwriting, Change Your Life. Lo and behold, they published it. Since then, I have had 5 more books published with various publishing companies who took my dream and made it into a reality for people who are determined to improve the quality of their lives with pen and ink. My second book, Your Handwriting Can Change Your Life, became a bestseller, now in its 19th printing with Simon & Schuster. If you are driven to reinvent your life and are willing to do what it takes to set your compass and hit the ground running, you've come to the right place. Because each of us has a special gift, and I include you. Adopting self-affirming handwriting patterns erases any self-defeating thinking habits and replaces them with those that awaken your gifts, your abilities, your talents, and offers you the opportunity to bring them alive. My life is dedicated to guiding people in transforming their lives through adopting self-affirming handwriting patterns. Our handwriting is a graphic reflection of our self-image, a collection of mental qualities that determine our goals, our dreams, our special talents, as well as self-imposed limitations. By learning how to retrain your subconscious mind through handwriting and gain control of your life in future, you will be given the opportunity to learn how to replace self-sabotaging attitudes with those that incorporate forward-moving energy and self-confidence and activate your ability to make a difference in the world in your way. You write the way you do because you think the way you do, for it's not the hand, but the subconscious mind that moves that pen. As you change your writing habits, you simultaneously alter your thinking habits. Handwriting provides precious clues to your thought habits, hidden abilities, and unique focus in life. By using the Vimala alphabet, you will learn how to incorporate attitudes that allow you to complete with the past, bring ease and joy into your relationships, and give you permission to express the very best in yourself and support you in creating a life you love. In the past 30 years, I have been blessed and honored to work with thousands of people from all over the world who have a vast array of interests. Because many hundreds of people have sent me their life-changing stories over the years, I call them stories from the heart. Because I have received so many, it's hard to choose just one, but I have permission to share this with you. I know you'll enjoy this story. 5 months ago, I changed my handwriting, on a lark as it were, because my life was not going well. The company I had been working for over 13 years shut its doors, and of course all of us were let go. Although every day I sent out resumes, no one responded positively, not one positive response. About 2 weeks after I lost my job, I was in a local bookstore where you were giving a talk. I wasn't in the audience listening to you, but in an adjacent aisle looking through shelves of books on self-help. I couldn't help hearing you, and the one sentence of yours I overheard that stuck was something like this: if your life is working just the way you want it to, don't change your handwriting, because once you do, your life will open up in the most unusual ways and keep a smile on your face. I'm putting quotes around that, although it isn't exactly what you said, but it's sure what I heard. Change my handwriting in order to be happy? That's preposterous. But as that doubt registered, I saw your book right in front of me on the bookshelf. Not one to believe in coincidence, I took a deep breath, pulled it from the shelf, started to leaf through it, found your approach logical, so I bought it. When I got home that night, I read the book from cover to cover and was fascinated, especially at the logic of it. It made perfect sense. I started that night to play around with some of the letters and realized that instead of just writing them offhand, I wanted to achieve a goal, so I needed to follow your directions. No lines? Oh well. So the next day I gathered a stack of blank 20-pound paper, had it bound into a journal at a local copy shop, and at noon I began my writing practice. I did as you insisted, and I set a goal. My goal was to be hired by a company whose attitude I found compatible with mine, honest, forthright, and who truly cared about both the staff and the customer. I didn't have a specific job or company in mind, but only one in which I could use the skills I had already developed and be offered the chance to learn even more. I also wanted a job that would give me a sense of personal fulfillment. In view of all that, I set aside a specific time each day to write, and did I write? Every single day, sometimes for as long as 2 hours. I was determined. I won't elaborate on the difficulty I found in shaping some of the letters, but I will say I did it anyway. I continued to send out resumes, but narrowed the field of company choices because it felt right. On the very last day of my second 40-day cycle of writing, I received what I call a job offer from heaven and a request for an interview. It was from a company with a completely different background than the one at which I had worked, but it felt ideal. Of course, I accepted the invitation, and the first interview was with 3 people in the company. The second interview was with the head of the department in which I'd be working. Our attitudes matched, and we even laughed at a few things we had in common. The next day, I received a phone call asking me to come in to the company again, which I did. When I came in, I was given a 1-page form and asked to fill in the lines at the top half of the form. Print it, please. And to fill in the blank space at the bottom half of the page, sharing my relevant background. Handwrite it, please. Although I found this to be a little strange request, with my new handwriting in place, of course I was delighted. I pulled out my pen and I began. When I gave the completed form to the person who had given it to me, as she glanced at it, her response was a very big smile, followed by laughter and a verbal high five. It surprised me because I hadn't said anything on the form that would bring out such a response. Then I found out why she was so excited. The head of their HR department has studied with you, knew what to look for in handwriting patterns, and had encouraged everyone in the company at least to adopt a Vimala letter as the initial of their first name. Shortening a long story, although it was a thoroughly refreshing one, I was hired. My initial position was in the HR department, and so the manager of HR and I have gotten to know one another very well. We found out we have a lot in common and regularly talk about the effects of writing with your alphabet. Truthfully, I have never been happier in any job I've ever had or in my life. Professionalism, honesty, fun, respect, and mutual support are the foundation of this company because the people in it who run the show, whether managers or staff, are kind, open, helpful, and want everyone to be successful. Yes, This job is truly one from heaven. I'm absolutely certain that it came to me, or I came to it, because I adopted your Vimala script. Yes, Vimala, per your suggestion, I write at least one thank you note every week. Each time I write one of these notes, I find that it is as much a gift to me as it is to the person I write it to, because it's a reminder of how blessed I am to have caring people in my life. Vimala, please consider this my thank you note to you. Most sincerely, MJL from Norman, Oklahoma. Thank you for being here with me today and giving me the opportunity to share with you a bit about myself and how by adopting the Vimala alphabet into your life, the opportunities and miracles that can occur because of it. I look forward to our journey together. By the way, I can't close without sharing the words of a dedicated student and dear friend who preferred I call her Lulu, but you may know her as Louise Hay. I'm quoting her when I say, by following Vimala's advice, I released many of my old negative patterns. As she says, when you change your handwriting, your whole life changes for the better. Those are the words of Louise L. Hay, author of You Can Heal Your Life. With alphabetical blessings, thank you for being here today.